Hi. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Ask A. Ask Adrienne Anything. And I'm loving these episodes. This week, you guys really came through with the questions. I have to tell you something, though. If you are not watching on YouTube, this is when you're going to want to watch because I'm going to share with you some photos. I hope it works. I have my screen up. That's why I keep looking at the screen. And I'm really hoping that this works. I'm going to show you some things because the last 24 hours of my life have been chaotic. And, I was hesitant. I don't know. I had a really rough day yesterday and I was like, am I going to talk about this? Am I going to share? My friend Lauren was like, you must. She was like, Adrienne, only you. And I know it's funny and, it seems like the sky is always falling or whatever, but I feel like this happens to everyone. When it rains, it storms. And if there's somebody out there who's struggling or a lot of things are happening for them in this season of life, it's okay. Like you are not alone and we're going to get through this together. I promise you. Also, I'm going to remain positive. There's no other way to be. I'm going to prefer to laugh than cry. And yesterday, Lauren and I had a massive laugh about everything that happened. And I'm going to focus on my blessings, focus on all the positives and good things in my life because there really is no other way to be. Okay. So let's talk about what happened. So, okay. I have this tree in front of my house and it's dead. Like it's dying. And my yard guy was like, listen, let's see it through the summer, whatever. But I have this massive, it looks like sticks in my front yard. It looks terrible. And so I told Andrew, I was like, look, if we're going to wait for the tree, at least make the grass look good, make the yard look nice. And I don't know what happened. If you're not watching on YouTube, you're going to want to check this out because hopefully you guys can see these photos. I don't know what happened, but I think I don't know if he over-fertilized, something went wrong. And I have this massive, okay, I'm going to try to see if you can see it. This massive, it looks like a circle of burn around the dead tree. Lauren pulled up and she was like, what the fuck happened to your tree? I'm like, or your yard? And I'm like, I don't know. It looks like it's terrible. I mean, at this point, it's laughable. Okay. But then it gets better. So yesterday I was like, wow, this really looks bad. I said, you know what? I'm going to water the flowers. I'm going to water the grass. And Andrew said he would come by and he's like, hey, I'll patch it, whatever. And so I came down to the studio. That's where my water spigot on, off, water switch is. And I turned the water on. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go run out and water the flowers. And when I went outside, I noticed it was making a lot of noise. And I was just like, I didn't have it on all year. So maybe it's pushing water through the lines, whatever. And I don't know. It just was. So I came back in and it was really loud. And I thought, oh my God, it is definitely something's wrong. And I thought it was from the outside. So I run outside. Let me see if I can show you this. My God, I have this video. And by the way, I'll post all of this on my social media because it's absolutely hysterical. Like I said, laugh, then cry. Let's see if you guys can see this. This is hard to do. I need to learn how to put a picture in picture. Anybody out there, a YouTube editor, let me know because I need to learn how to do that. Okay, let me see if okay. So I'm literally running out of the house, like maniac. I'm like, turn the water off. Oh my God. So I turn the water off outside and my daughter's like, what's going on? And I come inside and it sounds like it's raining. Now remember, my basement flooded last January and it flooded my studio. So I'm in full on panic. I come downstairs and now there's water dripping out of there's a HVAC thing or a register or whatever. I darted off the table, took down half of the background for Toy Stories. I got my drywall knife. I started cutting a hole in the drywall. There's water all coming down. I did turn off the water at the main supply. It was pandemonium. Lauren came over. I had a shop vac in the walls. She was like, what the hell's going on? And so yes, this is what my basement, my other side of the studio. I'm looking at it right now. And yeah, so for the second time in a year, my podcast studio has flooded. And at this point, it's just what the hell? I'm at a loss, okay? But you know what? We're going to fake it till we make it. Lauren said I should have done an episode with my hard hat on and sitting in the corner by all the holes in the walls and stuff. But I need to be with the lighting and I'm forget it. It's going to be fine. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna get through this together. We are in this together. And you guys really gave me a lot of good questions this week. Thank you so much. You can send me a question and ask me anything on my website, midlifecraving.com, or over on Instagram at midlifecraving. And if you want to see these photos, I'll post everything on Instagram as well, because it is funny. I'm looking at the holes in the wall. And thank God I was able to turn the water off. It's not a crisis. It's not when my house flooded 2 levels, last year. So everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. It is. Okay. So let's get started in these Ask Adrian Anything questions, because they're really good this week. Okay. How do I get my wife to want sex outside of just at bedtime? I have been in this rut before, and I get it. In fact, I feel like it's very common for us to fall into some sort of rut with our partner, right? And this actually happened with Prince Charming and I. And I made a rule that said we cannot have sex in the bedroom for 30 days. So that eliminated the before bed sex. So I would highly suggest that. Like, hey, let's make it fun. Let's take it outside the bedroom for 30 days and see what happens. I think that's a really great way. And that can count for anything. Like if you always have sex in the morning, change it tonight. Whatever your routine is, just make a rule and have fun together with it, right? And hopefully that helps for you. But I just want you to know you're not alone. And it happens to everyone, even me, right? Like you get like in this rut or whatever. So good luck. Let me know how it works for you. Okay. What is a position that you want to try? I was actually talking to somebody about this position the other day. It's called the Amazon position. You can Google it, but basically it's hard to explain. The guy's on his back and he like lifts his legs up and like I like straddle him. You have to Google it. It's called the Amazon position, but it's on my list. I want to try it. Okay. How do I talk to my partner about a threesome, particularly if I want a friend to join? First things first, you need to use your words, communicate, and make sure that you're talking to them at the right time. You know what I mean? Sit them down, have it be a very neutral time where you can really talk about the intricacies of what a threesome would mean for you, her, and the overall relationship. Also, I do not recommend playing with friends. I think that's kind of a recipe for disaster. That's just like, I don't have experience with that, but I don't know. To me, I feel like you should, if you're going to start and dabble into the world of, open relationships, E&M, playing with others, I think it should be with a neutral party and someone that if something goes wrong, because sometimes it does, okay, that you aren't ruining like long-term friendships or impacting your inner circle. You know what I mean? So I'd be very careful with that, and I would not suggest starting there. But the first conversation is going to be the hardest, but once you get through that, and then remember, talk about every single little detail about it too. Talk about it again, and talk about it enough to where you feel like, gosh, we've talked about this a lot. That's when you have done effective communication with each other. Okay. And then I recommend meet a stranger. Get that strange. Like, I wouldn't have my first experience be with a friend. That's just me. Okay. I have to have a hysterectomy, Adrian. Please tell me it's not that bad. I'm here to tell you it is definitely not. I was just as nervous with you. And do me a favor, step away from Google. Like Dr. Google, step away. There are so many horror stories and negative things about hysterectomies online. It had me so terrified and freaked out. So step away from that. And everyone's experience is going to be different. I would definitely, talk with your doctor about your fears. Talk to them. Like, I know one of the things that I did is I was nervous. I had the, like the robotic, whatever. And I was nervous about where the scars were going to be because I was like, hey, I really like to wear crop tops. And, I like to wear like, short shirts to the gym or whatever. I don't want to have all of these scars because it's like 5 scars, or 5 little like dots across your abdomen. And he was like, okay, well, wear your pair of pants in, show me where your pants lay, and then I'll make sure I go below, which was very nice. And I appreciated that. So just whatever you're fearing, whatever you're thinking about, like I remember telling my doctor, like, is this going to change my orgasms? Like, is sex going to be painful? I was very fearful. I will say this too. I think it's 90 days. You have to refrain from sex. I would say give it 5 months, like 4 to 5 months at most. I feel like I was not ready to come back. I think I I think I waited 4 months, and it was definitely, I finally felt like back to normal at about 6 to 8 months. So give yourself some time, give yourself some grace. Also, I was using clit toys like a week after and was perfectly fine. So don't be worried about that. And my orgasms are the same. I did keep my ovaries, and I didn't have that much impact at all whatsoever. But I will tell you something else. I would do it 100 times over again because I love not having a period. Okay. So reach out to me on Instagram. We could talk about it more, but definitely talk to your doctor and just know it's going to take time to heal. It's going to take some time because it kind of like is a mental thing. It was more mental for me, the recovery rather than the physical. So, okay. You mentioned that you don't wear underwear. What about spotting? What do you do? It's funny because like since the hysterectomy, I don't have to think about that, but I didn't wear underwear before that either. And one of my best tips is to use a menstrual cup. I really like the Flex brand. I think it's like it's called the Flex menstrual disc, I think. And I could wear that thing all day and I never had to worry about anything. So that's what I would do. I haven't really had an issue with it. And I know like Katina will wear a tampon. I have friends that, will wear tampons and stuff, but I haven't really had an issue with it. And I think you did ask me too. You were like, do you just like, can you ever rewear clothes? I mean, yeah, I'm cleaning my clothes every time. And I don't know. I've never really had an issue, but again, I don't have a period either. So I think it's a little easier for me. But I just don't like wearing underwear. I don't like the way they feel. So, okay. How do you keep sex lively in a long-term relationship? This is probably one of my most popular questions all the time. First, go listen to episode 75. I have lots of tips and tricks there to keep things spicy. Also, I think it's really, really important to make sure that you always are making time for it, right? And that you're communicating with your partner how important intimacy is to you and how much it means in your relationship. I also think it's vital to not stop dating your partner. And I know it's hard if you have young kids or, you're busy and there's a lot of life that can get in the way. Put yourself first. Remember that, you can't be your best self for your kids if your relationship is struggling. I'm guilty for this, by the way. I let having a kid and the, life struggles and stress get in the way of my sex life and my marriage as well. And I just think it's really important to remember to date each other. I also think that, relationships are 100-100. And for a female, I know that what happens outside of the bedroom is just as important for in. So make sure there's equality and like splitting up chores and stuff. I remember when I was married, I would be like, all right, I worked all day. I made dinner. I cleaned up. I, fed the baby, got her to bed, and then, okay, now allow me to satisfy you. And it became like a chore, which is not cool. So make sure that that's happening. Surprise your partner and do little things like I love little notes here and there. Stuff like that goes a long way. You can book a weekend at a hotel, a staycation, think about dating your partner again. And by the way, there's nothing wrong. It's kind of like scheduling sex when you do stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think my last thing would be, especially when it comes to, you're wanting your female partner to give more. Do things and like do nice things, help her, compliment her, pick up, do something extra, book something without the expectation of anything in return for, once or twice. You know what I mean? Like not every single thing has to be rewarded with sex. Listen, I love it just as much as you, but that's a big thing, especially if someone's not as sexual, like to always have that expectation kind of sucks. So like if you do, she comes home to a clean house and you have a nice dinner with her and then you just give her a kiss on the cheek and say good night. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna be like, oh, well, he doesn't expect anything. He just was being nice. They're gonna get laid. Okay. All right. Where is that hot top from? If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture, not of me completely in this top, but it was a little tease. Remember I told you in the last episode, Lauren gave me all of these tops. She's such a good friend to have, let me tell you. So this is the top, and I had probably 30 people asking me about it. And it's really pretty. I love like the strappy look of it. It's really nice. And she got it from Torrid. So this was a size 0. But, for a busty girl like me, Torrid, their lingerie line is beautiful. And the size 0 fits me very well. So that's where I got it from. So check out Torrid. Okay. Next question. When is the next lifestyle party? And funny you mentioned that. There is actually one in 2 weeks. I am attempting to go. I'm not sure if it's going to work out with my schedule, but I did join the chat and I need to start getting more involved with that. We'll see what happens. It might be a last minute call for me, but there's always something going on in my hot group and I miss them all very much. Okay. Adrian, how do I get my husband to have sex with me? He can't get hard. And I've gained some weight. I'm in my head about it. Is that why? I'm thinking, let's go. I want to get it on with him. Okay. So a few things here. Just because you gained a little bit of weight, I wouldn't be worried about that. But if you are, self-conscious about that, if you are nervous about that, think about, girl, if you DM me over on Instagram, I can send you like some workouts. Like I love working out and stuff. And I think once you get started, you have somebody to motivate you, look good, feel good. So if you're feeling self-conscious about that, please don't. And if you really are, just get yourself out there and get your confidence back and do it for you, because I think it's a really big deal. Like that's why I'm a big proponent of working out and making sure that, I take care of myself, because if I don't look good and feel confident, that affects me in the bedroom. Now let's talk about the husband thing. He may be feeling insecure because maybe he's having a little bit of struggles with ED or his sex drive is going down. Ask him at the right time and place, have a good conversation with him about it and be free to share exactly how you're feeling. You want to be mindful of him, but, create like that open dialogue to where you can share with each other and just let him know how important it is to you. And then also when it comes, there's nothing wrong with going to your doctor. I know so many men that are on testosterone. It's like not even funny. Like it's like a normal thing now. And then also there's nothing wrong with taking that little blue pill. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And lastly, I do want to say I'm a big fan of a cock ring. I feel like that really helps keep it harder for longer. So that's another tool that you can use. But send me a DM. Feel good about yourself, girl. You got this. And just, you have to talk to your partner for sure. Like it's so vital, Okay. Outside of the lifestyle parties, have you ever had a threesome? Yes. I've shared about that many times on the episodes. I do have a couple of couples that I love to play with, and they are a lot of fun, for sure. More FMFs than MFMs, which MFM is my favorite. But yeah, I do, and I have. Okay, this is another lifestyle question. How long do you see yourself staying in the lifestyle? This is a big question. And it's actually something I've been thinking about a lot lately, right? I've always been a single gal in the lifestyle. I have never experienced it with a partner. But then I think to myself, Adrian, what are you going to do? Like, are you just going to meet somebody in the lifestyle and then just run off into the lifestyle sunset with them? I don't know. I'm thinking that, with my partners or whoever I'm with, I don't think the lifestyle is going to be a thing for quite a while. You have to build that foundation with someone. How long do I see myself staying in the lifestyle? I don't know how to answer that right now. I was in the lifestyle honeymoon phase for about a year and I was like, E&M and everything, this is all for me forever and ever. I love it. And I do. I really, really do. And I haven't had any negative things. It's just as a single gal, and listen, again, I am spoiled by my group and I love being a unicorn. But when it comes to building a relationship with myself, like I'm not going to introduce Mike into the lifestyle. Like you have to have that foundation. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Do you watch porn while you masturbate? Yeah. I mean, not all the time, but most of the time I do. And I like to watch J.O. vids. Okay. Because that's the next question. My wife wants me to start playing with another woman as she finds it a turn on. Where do I start? First things first, communicate, over communicate. Talk about where you're going to meet the women, what kind, what is the boundaries going to be? What are the circumstances going to be? And, logistics, everything. And I think the best way to get started is, hop on SLS.com, try Field app, 3Fun app. You can join friction parties. You can find like a local lifestyle club. I feel like just slowly migrating yourself into the world, you will find some couples. And there's a lot of women out there whose spouses like to watch them as well. It's a whole world. I think FetLife is pretty good too. I've never been on there though. So check all of those out and have patience. It's a lot. It's like online dating, right? You have to, it's a lot of effort. But when you find that connection and you have that, it's like that elusive connection. It's amazing and worth it. And it could be very hot for you and your spouse. Okay. Is there a position that you don't enjoy? Gosh, that's a really tough question. There's so many that I like. One that 69. I do not like 69. Actually, I do not like 69 at all. So there you go. I like to be able to focus, and I can't focus in that position. What is your biggest fantasy? For sure, a gangbang. Is it not for every gal? I don't know. But yeah, that would be incredibly hard to orchestrate, but I do love watching that. And I think it's something that's extremely hot. So, a fantasy is a fantasy. Okay. Adrian, you don't talk about Captain Morgan as much anymore. Is he not your favorite? You talk about PCAT all the time. What's going on? Listen, I love the OG Clitsucker from Tracy'sDog.com. I, affectionately named him Captain Morgan because I just name my toys, and it's like a weird thing that I do. And yes, I love him. I love him very much. I will say though, since I've gotten PCAT, she stays charged all the time. She's like my favorite toy in the world. I have something to show you too. You know what? Hang on. Where is it? Let me grab her. Oh, hang on. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to. Anyway, there's a new one. I'm not going to show this side. There's a new one. And it's like this thumper. I have to find out. I don't even know if they're selling it yet, but I have been thoroughly enjoying this. It's very much like the OG, but it has like this thumper on it, and it's like a tapper. Oh my God. And it's 10 out of 10. I have to do a review on that toy. It's absolutely amazing. And I love the little Tracy's dog logo. She's so cute. Anyway, so I love Captain. I love him very much. And he'll always be like my OG, just like, the name. However, PCAT, I'm just in love with her. Okay. She's the best. She's easy to use. She stays charged forever. It is just, it's the most explosive, amazing orgasm. And what I really love about her is that if I want to climax quick, I can, or I can prolong it a little bit with that sixth setting, that magical sixth setting. Okay. If you want one, go to Tracy'sDog.com, use code Cravers20 and get 20% off. By the way, I love that you guys are using that code and you're loving their toys as well. I feel like everyone needs a PCAT. Get the PCAT for your partner. Ladies, if you don't have one and you're a clitoral climaxer like me, it's a she is a must-have. And I love the OG. I love the new tapping toy. I love Coco. There's so many different, but PCAT, I'm just so addicted to her. And I think she's like $30, 20% off, and then pick yourself up something else, get free shipping. It's just so worth it. And it's like the best toy ever. So I will always love Cat, but I am just thoroughly enjoying PCAT. I travel with her. I used her this morning. I'm going to use her again tonight. I love that fucking toy. She's the best. Okay. So remember, you guys can ask me anything over on my website, midlifecraving.com, or on Instagram at midlifecraving. And I want to take a moment and just say thank you for being here with me. I love hearing from you guys. If you comment below, if you're on YouTube, or if you send me a DM or hit me up on my website, it means a lot to me. You guys share so much with me. I think the next Ask A episode, I'm going to share you guys have been reaching out to me, asking me about the scenarios and situations that you're in and advice for that, not direct questions for me. And I love that. So we're going to talk about that. And it's just, like I said, I've had such a chaotic 24 hours. I was in fight or flight for about 8 minutes yesterday as water was pouring down the wall on half of my studio. But at the end of the day, I'm okay. Everything's going to be okay. And you are too. And if you're struggling, if you're riding the struggle bus shotgun with me, you're not alone. We're going to fake it till we make it. And we're all in this together. I will see you next Tuesday.